Merry meet, everyone. My magical name is Opal Luna, and tonight we will be doing a bit of divination. To play along with this presentation, have a paper and pencil handy, a candle and lighter, a clear crystal or glass disc, a black bowl, and water to fill it, loose leaf tea, hot water, and a teacup and saucer. It's best for the cup to be light in color and blank on the inside so that you can really see the patterns in the tea. Divination. It is the practice of seeking knowledge of the future or the unknown by supernatural means. Fear and curiosity have caused humans to divine the future since the beginning of time. There are 5 systems in particular that are rooted in history and still widely used throughout the world today: astrology, numerology, I Ching, tarot, and runes. Because they have stood the test of time and each of them incorporates a significantly complex and balanced set of archetypes, we can refer to these 5 as the world's classical divination systems. We will not be talking about any of these tonight. All 5 of these deserve a class of their own, given by an adept practitioner. So if you are one of those, please talk to Oksana, because I would like to go to that class. So what are we going to do tonight? Patience, and all will be revealed. Now, even those who would scoff at superstitions today have their little signs that they look for. Someone sees a butterfly or dragonfly and takes it as a message from the other side of the veil. A friend of mine finds heart-shaped leaves everywhere she goes and takes it as a gift from a lost loved one. I notice numbers. Once upon a time, when you did your bills each month by actually writing out checks and putting them in envelopes, I would take note of all the digits and try to read some kind of message in there. Now the computer does that for me, but there are digital clocks everywhere. And I very rarely miss a 12:34 or a 10:10. 10:10 because that's my birthday. I take it as an affirmation of whatever's going on at the time. Now, the 12:34, that came about from my older son, Donnie. When he was a little boy, he told me that he would think of me every time 1, 2, 3, 4 was on the clock, and that I should think of him at the same time. Well, a few years back, I noticed the time and I sent him a text. 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm thinking of you. And he sent a text back. I live in a different time zone now, Mom. I'll think about you in an hour. I'm not sure where he got that sense of humor, but. So tonight, we will try our hand at a few methods of divination. Some may be familiar to you, some not. So it's a good idea to have that sheet of paper ready and your pencil to take notes. Stick to key words and names of objects so you don't fall behind. And pay attention to feelings like cold, hot, happy, sad, etc. We are collecting data for further research. That will be your homework. If you don't see much tonight, that's fine too. We are going through this quickly. If any method interests you, go back later and try this at home. We will begin by reading our palms to gain some insight into our own personalities. Then we will scry with all 4 elements. We will go on a cloud meditation in the air, light our candles and see what the fire tells us. Fill our black bowls and look deeply into the dark water, and then enjoy a cup of the earth's bounty for a taste of tasseomancy. If you have loose leaf tea, you should pour your hot water now. So this way it will be cool and ready to drink when the time comes. You can also sip it during the presentation so that you don't have to glug it down at the end. But remember, when you do take a sip, to ask for clarification on some question or situation that may be happening in your life right now. Okay. Remember to leave a little bit to drink later on all together with us. And if you get excited and drink it all, leave a tablespoon in the bottom of the cup so the leaves can still switch around. So there's much to do, but first we will act responsibly and cast a circle of protection to work within. Because divination is quite literally calling the divine. We open our subconscious minds to go between the worlds. It can attract entities that we weren't planning on. Don't be naive. We are better safe than sorry. So let's imagine a golden ball of light. This ball of light is surrounding us in all directions, north, south, east, and west, above and below. It is done. Palmistry is more akin to astrology than it is to fortune telling. Although a skilled palmist will be able to predict things about you by the clues they find there in the palm of your hand. Use your imagination and pretend that I am the Strega about to tell you a fortune. Are you with me so far? You enter my tent, the lights are low, the incense is in the air, and I beckon you to be seated, and I ask you to cut the cards. Which hand do you use? If you use the left hand, I know you are intuitive and tend to be more creative. If you use your right hand, you may be more practical and logical. Then I ask you to show me both of your hands, and I take them in mine, and I look up into your eyes and down in your hands and up into your eyes and back down. I am actually estimating the size of your hands as compared to the size of your bone structure. Now, everybody knows that my hands are smaller than most everybody's, okay? But are they small to me? Here's how you can tell. Place the palm of your hand, like the butt of your palm on your chin, spread your fingers and place it on your face. Do your pinky and thumb come outside of your brow line? If they come outside, you have large hands for your bone structure. If they stay inside your brow line, then you have small hands for your bone structure. So I'm looking at your hands and comparing them to your face. And if I see that your hands are small, it will tell me that you can see the big picture, but sometimes miss the details. If your hands are large, it reveals sensitivity, versatility, curiosity. You see, I'm collecting clues about you. I'm creating a profile that may tell me what is in your future. Is your palm long and rectangular? A long, thin palm? I will assume that you enjoy brainstorming, talking, and have an agile mind. But if your palm is square, I know that you take nothing for granted and you want all the details out on the table up front. I will inspect all your fingers and your fingernails and various characteristics of both your hands to form a profile of you. And I will do it so matter-of-factly and quickly that you won't even notice that I'm doing it. But now, no matter which one is your dominant hand, I will see what could have been in your left hand and what actually has happened in your right hand. So these are my hands, okay? And a picture of a hand in the middle. So you see how my left hand over here, I'm going to use my pointer, scrunch up your fingers like this, make a little tight finger fist, right? Just your finger scrunched up. Right here where your pinky meets the palm of your hand, count the wrinkles. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 wrinkles, definite wrinkles right here on my left hand. Now check your right hand. Scrunch up your fingers and count the wrinkles that are there. 1, 2, 3. I only have 3. Well, this section of the hand tells me how many exceptional relationships you could have in your life. I had the potential, or have the potential, I ain't dead yet, have the potential to have 4 meaningful, deep relationships, not necessarily romantic, but soulmates, right? I've only had 3, according to my palmistry. Now, did I miss somebody along the way? Well, like I said, I ain't dead yet. Maybe there's someone else down the road that will form like a truly intimate connection, that I will form a connection with. Or maybe I'm just going for quality over quantity. And once I found my Carl, I wasn't looking for anybody else. You can take this as you will and think about it later. How many potential relationships were you destined to have? How many have you had so far? Who could they be and what's in your future? All questions for the fortune teller. Now, after all of this, we actually get down to what most people see as reading a palm, these lines, right? Okay. So, right above your thumb and curving down to your wrist is your lifeline. There you go. That's your lifeline. Now, this is not the length of your life, but the enthusiasm that you have for life. If this line is defined, then you are a high energy person who embraces a challenge. You are affectionate. In other words, you're a hugger. You have a zest for life. If there's breaks along the way in that line, then you might be doing more thinking than action, and you could possibly be more assertive. Come on, grab that life by the, grab that bull by the horns, live that life. Just do it. Above the lifeline is your headline, right above there and across the center of your palm. Now, this is your intellectual appetite, not your IQ. Has nothing to do with that. If this line is short, it just means you have a one-track mind and you might be closed to new ideas. Change may be very hard for you. You got to really make friends with an idea before you can really get it in your head. The longer this line is, the more perceptive abilities you have and the more dedicated you are to learning. If there is breaks in this line, you could be disorganized. Maybe that's a wandering mind. It happens. It happens. But if it's a very deep and distinct line, then you're putting your know-how to good use. You not only have an appetite for learning, but you want to apply that learning and make it wisdom. Up above, from the index finger across the top of your hand is your heart line, and that is your emotional barometer. If this line is deep, then you see yourself as a peacemaker. You're a lover of the arts, and you have very strong relationships, and you take it very seriously, very personally when your friends are not getting along. If this line is faint, then you're the one that enjoys being pampered. Your heart rules your head. If it's long, you are the romantic. And if it's short, you are passionate and committed. If there's breaks in your heart line, then most of your relationships are more casual. Now, I included this fate line because it was in the picture, even though this is the Saturn line and only 40% of palms have it. And I'd be interested to know if that percentage holds up in our group, Because if this line is straight, you have a contentment with material things. Whether you have little or a lot, you are content with your lot in life and you're happy with what you have. If this line is broken, then you have a great desire for material things. You are willing to work for them. That's good. It's important to you to have the best, the top of the line. There is a lot more to this, but I think that now we have a little bit of an idea and have learned a little about ourselves. So it's time to see what the universe would like us to know. Let's go on a journey through the elements. We start in the east with the element of air. Pick up your pencils and be prepared to write down what you see when I ask. Take a deep breath and close your eyes. And picture yourself on a beautiful beach. Imagine yourself lying on the beach in a very comfortable lounge chair. Listen to the waves breaking on the shore. Smell the salty air as the breeze cools your skin. Take another deep breath and see with your mind's eye as you bring your awareness to the clouds. The clouds are so inviting that you drift right up to greet them. Floating among the fluffy clouds, you notice familiar shapes forming as the wind blows them around. Gradually, you come face to face with the cloud version of your spirit animal. What a pleasant surprise. Write the name of this animal on your paper. And then take a moment to dance in the air with your guide. Spent from the dance, you notice your guide is directing you to look out into the clouds. When you do, you see them form a familiar object. Write it down. The clouds change shape, and now you see a different object. Write that down on your paper. A third time, the breeze picks up, and you see a shape in the clouds. Write this down as well. Your spirit animal calls your attention once more. It is time to bid you farewell. See you again soon. And you float back down to earth, grateful for this message from Spirit. Lay back and relax into that beach chair. Feel the warmth of the sun on your skin, cooled by the ocean breeze. Hear the crash of the waves on the shore. Smell the salt air. It is time to come back to the real world now. Sit up. Stamp your feet on the floor. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Stretch. And open your eyes. Take a deep breath and disconnect from the air, promising to remain grateful for its blessings. Now that we have our feet back on the ground, it is time we move on to the south and the element of fire. Please light your candles at this time. The size of the flame makes no difference. I'm sure many of us have gazed into the fire at ritual or drum circle and seen images that spoke to us. Sometimes we can capture a picture to share, but most of the time we are seeing it with our mind's eye, and the camera wouldn't do it justice. In the relaxed state from our meditation, we should be able to unfocus our eyes and allow the flame to show us a sign. Take a moment to gaze into the dancing flame and write down any images or feelings that come to you. Take a deep breath and disconnect from the fire, promising to remain grateful for its blessings. Let's bring our attention to the west now and the element of water. Take your dark bowl and place your crystal inside the bowl and pour your water over the crystal slowly, letting it splash and ripple and bubble. Take note of anything that you see in the movement of the water. This could be an opportunity to use that moon water that you made last month, but any water will do. If you like, you can add a drop of essential oil to your water for the ambiance, but again, plain water is just fine. As you take note of the ripples and bubbles it makes, what patterns do you see? Any shapes to write down for later research? When the water becomes still, take your most powerful magical tool, the index finger of your dominant hand, and churn the water, creating more waves, bubbles, and ripples. Reflect on the reflection for a moment and write down any images that you see. Take a deep breath and disconnect from the water, promising to remain grateful for its blessings. It's time we turn toward the north and called our attention to the earth. The earth, our home, our food, shelter, and clothing. Everything on this planet has a vibration, and it will sing to us if we listen. Tasseomancy is the art of reading tea leaves. My tea of choice is a blend of mugwort and peppermint loose leaf tea. Mugwort is a member of the daisy family. Its medicinal properties include detox and circulation. It is good for the stomach and the liver. Magically, it opens the third eye and encourages lucid dreaming by prolonging REM sleep. Peppermint is also good for digestion and stimulates the synapses of the brain. It improves the memory. Mental clarity is among its magical uses. Sip your tea now, taking care not to stir up and swallow all of the leaves in the bottom. As you do, think about a question or situation you may want clarified. Leave about a teaspoon of liquid in the bottom of the cup so the leaves can still move around a little. Now is the time that the fortune teller would treat you to a little ritual of their own, and I will walk you through mine. Swish 3 times widdershins. Widdershins is counterclockwise. 1, 2, 3. Send all negativity far from me. With a cover on my cup, put your saucer on top of your cup. I turn it wrong side up. Turn it over. With handle to heartward bound. Have your handle pointing toward you. Turn clockwise 3 times round. Just the cup, not the saucer. 1. The horrible scratching noise means it's working. 2. 3. Tap quickly. 1, 2, 3. All truth be revealed to me. Now turn your cup over. What do you see? Take note of any first impressions. Anything along the rim of the cup and about half an inch down, that is the near future. That is now or soon. These might not be things that you can do anything about, but you can be ready for it. The symbols nearest to you by the handle of the cup are most urgent. As you go down the sides, the signs are predicting the future, till the bottom of the cup reveals the distant future. Maybe we have time to do something about that. Now, some folks say that the very bottom of the cup is the past, but personally, I'm not looking for the past. But if I did see my past, if I saw something familiar from my past in the bottom of the cup, I might think that I was allowing history to repeat itself, that maybe there were lessons that I did not learn the first time around. Maybe I have time to do something about it now. We all have types and tendencies, and that's why the fortune teller started with reading our palms. It forms a profile from which we can put all the signs together and come up with what might happen. Nothing is set in stone but the past. That is where we were shown the lessons, and how we use the wisdom of the elements is up to us. Take another moment to find some images and impressions in your leaves. Take a deep breath and disconnect from the earth, promising to remain grateful for its blessings. I want to share with you a cup of mine from a couple of weeks ago, just to give you an idea of how you can take the symbols you see in your cup and create a story for yourself. So while I was drinking this cup of tea, I was thinking about my book and where I am in the stream of things happening with the book. I'm between departments. I was between departments then. I never even realized there was so much involved in writing a book, but I hadn't heard from anybody in a couple of weeks, and I was wondering what was going on. So I turned the cup over, and right away, I saw this grouping, which looked to me, now, it's hard to take a picture, but I saw a flock of birds. I saw birds in flight, their wings, they were moving down the cup, right? Now, birds in flight is a very lucky omen, and it can also mean a journey. So I was like, yeah, I'm on this journey. I've been lucky, very lucky to be on this journey. Let's hope that that keeps up, right? But lo and behold, right there is a dragon. You see this dragon breathing fire at my birds? Okay, listen. To me, the dragon symbolizes courage. It may mean something different to you. But when I saw that dragon, not sleeping, but actually breathing fire, then I took it as a sign that I needed courage, but I would have it. The dragon has my back on this journey. And I started thinking, oh, wow, I got to be tough, and I got to, and I go down the cup, And look, there's a fairy. Do you see the fairy with the wings? And I think, wow, okay, maybe I should lighten up a little bit. Maybe I should not miss the joy in this adventure. Let's keep some of the whimsy, right? And remember that this is just like a ridiculous thing that I should even be writing a book for Llewellyn, you know? So let's just enjoy every minute of it. And as I looked into the bottom of the cup, I saw a W. You see that W? Now, what could W stand for? Well, you know, I want it to stand for wealth and wisdom and Willy Wonka and whatever. I don't know. But I thought, let me just look up some meanings of symbols. And I didn't even think about it, but every letter of the alphabet has a correspondence. And that's like another whole rabbit hole I'm going to have to go down very soon. But this W can quite literally be taken as double U. In focus on yourself. Give yourself permission to make it about you. I'm taking this incredible journey. It will take courage, but I have it. I have the power. I have the whimsy. I'm going to focus on me. And so I thought, wow, this is great. I'm not going to wait till somebody emails me. I'm going to start asking some questions. So I emailed my editor, and she connected me to my publicist, who said, wow, you've got great timing. You're on my to-do list for this week. Let's just have a meeting now. So I'm taking the bulls by the horns, right? And I like this cup. This is a great cup. I'm going to keep this picture. And I hope that your cups will show you something just as special. All right. So there you have some examples of divination that you can easily incorporate into your magical practice. And we have called forth a ton of energy tonight. So let's only keep what we need so we'll be able to sleep later, okay? So put your feet flat on the floor. Position your palms towards the floor. Touch the floor if you're able to. If not, just concentrate on sending that extra energy back to the four elements where it came from: earth, air, fire, and water. So mote it be. Let's take down our protective shield and close this session so we can share our experiences. We thank the elements for their insight, north, west, south, and east. May we use this knowledge always for the greatest good. Imagine the ball of light again, but now it is separating into fireflies and disappearing into the ether. We thank all entities who joined us this evening and wish them on their way in peace, harming none. It is done. For further research, I recommend Palm Reading by Dennis Fairchild, Tea Leaf Reading by Dennis Fairchild, and of course, Divination for Beginners by Scott Cunningham.